And me, I've done nothing but put good out in this world and try to expel the evil of the internet.
The block stay hot. Cyraxx, shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. Predator vibes got a band from the book. Josh Block at the hill, bottle in his clutch. Captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Navy rattling, can't step to the throne. Worry, drop the mic, let them reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. The Goblin is back, so are we. Let's get after it.
Good morning, everybody. So, I'm here to say something, and I don't care what a hater has to say. You know, after my live stream earlier, I was sitting out thinking about it, and God told me that I needed to make this video, so here I am. You know, y'all motherfuckers sit here every day, run your mouth about me. You know, all y'all trolls, you sit here, run your mouths about me every day in your little groups, on Facebook, you know, in your little groups or whatever.
I would say 6,000 people probably constitutes more than a little, but go on.
On Reddit, on everything. And see, y'all have it in your heads that what you guys do affects me mentally. But it doesn't.
Literally, he has said in videos less than 48 hours prior to this that the trolling has destroyed his mental health, made him want to unalive himself, and ruined any chances of him having a good life. And now he's going to come back on here like 2 days later and try to claim that it doesn't faze him.
Emotionally, yeah, it sucks. But at the end of the day, y'all's opinions are just that. They are opinions. They are not fact. If they were fact, there would be some sort of credibility behind it, but there's not.
Like all the receipts that people show constantly of the specific things that you've done and the old clips of you admitting to the stuff that you've done.
See, all y'all have this perception that I'm this evil fucking person. Like, if I was evil, let me ask you something. If I was evil, then why did I call out my ex Kera on the shit that she did?
Wait, calling somebody out and being aggressive towards them doesn't make you evil? What?
If I was so evil, then why do I promote men's mental health? Why do I promote and advocate for mental health? If I'm such an evil person, then why do I have several people in the Cyraxx Nation that see what I'm doing, that actually enjoy what I do? See, it's funny, y'all trolls sit there and say like, oh, you don't have any fans, nobody likes you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I do. And I'm in the group chat with every single one of those motherfuckers right now. Go to my homie Delon, what's good, bro? I have not lost one mental battle. Yes, there were times where I came close, but I didn't. See, you guys have it in your heads that I'm the most awful, awful human being. Trolls take my position. Let's see you fight the mental battles that I fight. Well, let's switch roles, and you can try to sit there and defend yourself. How about that? Let's see what it's like to have 6,000 plus people and try to mentally break you every day. Does it get to me? Yeah, it does sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit it. Some of the mental hell that y'all going through and all the emotional hell y'all going through, sometimes that does get to me. But that doesn't mean I give up or break.
Cyraxx, there's nothing for you to give up on. You don't do anything. You sit there in your chair and you scratch yourself and you make these response videos where you tell us that you'll never stop. But I don't know what you're never stopping because you don't do anything.
See, y'all have it in your heads that I'm not this superstar or whatever, and honestly, I don't claim to be a superstar.
Wait, he said he was a rock god like 2 days ago. He has no recollection of, like, I feel like as soon as he's done doing these streams, he forgets everything he said on the stream, and then when he does the next one, it's just a total clean slate.
I claim to be a rock star. I claim to be a champion for the people like myself and those that look up to me. Why? Because I believe in doing good for people. I believe in helping people as much as I possibly can. Whether it's 1 people or 2 people, whether it's 100 people or 1,000 people, I don't care. I would rather have 10 real motherfuckers watching my shit than have 1,000 fakes watching my shit every day. Because at least I know those 10 real motherfuckers, those 10 real fucking people, actually take something good away from what I'm doing. See, at the end of the day, you trolls are sad with your lives. You project, and you try to act like I'm the one projecting. But really, I'm not. I'm just out here trying to make an honest living.
Every time that he calls what he's doing on the internet making an honest living, like it it just chips away at my sanity. This is not a job. This is not a living. If you were making a living, you would be living somewhere. You live with Sally and Ed in the attic. It's not a living.
Trying to help inspire as many people as I possibly can. And, it's funny, you guys sit here and you make fun of me in your little groups and talk all this trash and think that it actually affects me, but it really doesn't. Do I have my moments where it gets hard? Like I said, yes. There are times where it does get difficult. There are times where I do feel like giving up. When I do feel like walking away and saying fuck it and being a hermit for the rest of my life. But I don't let myself go that route. Why?
Wait, he doesn't let himself go the route of being a hermit. He is literally the image that like conjures into my mind when I think about a hermit, like somebody bald with like a long wispy beard. There was an episode of SpongeBob where they seen a hermit in a cave, and I think he wouldn't let them leave, and he was going to try to put them in a soup or something. I'm only vaguely remembering this, but I can vividly remember what the hermit looks like, and like that's what Cyraxx physically looks like. Like he's everything that you would imagine when you think of like a cave dweller.
Because I have too many people that depend on me. My friends, my family, and more important, those that actually look up to me.
He is by definition a dependent. He doesn't provide anyone with anything, but he is reliant on Sally and Ed for food, shelter, housing, utilities, someone to talk to, his internet that he uses to put all this content out there. Like he literally depends on them for everything. And he's claiming people rely on him for what?
I know what you're thinking. Oh, nobody looks up to you. Yeah, there are. If I wanted to, I can name at least 3 or 4 people right off the bat, but I'm not going to. Because I want to keep their names private. Because I know that they can't handle the mental games that I can handle. They're not ready for that yet. And if you are somebody out there that is going through that, I just want to say that I am genuinely sorry that you're going through this. If you are somebody out there that is being mentally screwed with and scrutinized and it's getting to you, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. No one deserves to be put down. No one deserves to have their life ripped away. No one deserves to feel lower than dirt. At the end of the day, we are all human. We all bleed red. We are all people. And if I can help even just one person through any of my videos, whether it's on here, YouTube, wherever, it doesn't matter.
You know, it's interesting how many of the lolcows try to go down this route where all of a sudden they're touting themselves as being like a mental health advocate or like a victim's advocate or something like that. Nova Online, last I checked, I pulled up his TikTok on a live stream the other night, and he has listed like in the bio of his TikTok that he is that he's a mental health advocate and it's very strange to me because like they say when you're in a plane and the plane is going down you have to put your mask on before you can try to help everybody else, and it's like, Cyraxx, your own mental health is slipping away more and more day to day. Your grasp on reality is tenuous at best, and you have no resources of any kind. You have no job, you have no home, no education. Like physically, it looks like he doesn't even shower. He wears the same clothes for days at a time. Like these are the hallmarks of depression. Like, my guy, you got to take care of yourself before you start talking about how you're an inspiration to the people online and you're going to help them.
If I can help even just one person, then I'm doing my job as a person. At the end of the day, if I can help even just one single person who could be going through something, then I'm doing my job. Because that's what I was put on this earth to do. Well, let me put it to you like this. 4.5 years ago, I had different times, which is true. I had attempted 2 different times because I had been pushed so far to the edge. I had been pushed so far to the edge that I felt like the only option for me. It wasn't until after my second attempt that I realized what I was really put on this earth to do.
I will never let him say that without chiming in that what he's talking about is the poop stylus.
It was about 2 or 3 months after where I was sitting down thinking, asking myself, God, why did I live? Why did you let me live? I wanted to escape. Why am I here? Why did you, keep me here? Why didn't you just bring me home and let me rest in peace? And it wasn't until a few months after when I started getting messages from people asking if I was okay. And that's when I realized that I had people that do care. And from then on, I started to, look at my life in a different way. I really started to look at my life in a very different way. And I started to look at it as, like, how can I start to rebuild my life? How can I start to rebuild what was taken from me? And slowly over time, I would build up and get stuff taken away, build up and get stuff taken away, all leading up to this year. This year is my ultimate fight. This is my David versus Goliath fight this year. And all those years of going through that pain was preparing me for this moment to rebuild back up the proper way. It wasn't until this month that I found my people, that I truly found those that I can help.
It's amazing that we can continue to go through this cycle over and over again, that now he thinks he's found his people. Like, he says this every single time that there's a new buddy troll in the picture.
I found my community of people. I found my people that not only support me, but who I support as well. I found my people that not only got my back, but I found my people whose back that I can have. I finally found the people that would fight and die for me just like I would for them. Because at the end of the day, I don't see myself as this massive, super famous person. I've never once saw myself as being super famous. Yeah.
Again, he literally said 2 days ago that he was a world-renowned rock god. That's what he was on about. He said, people know my name around the world. They know me everywhere. I'm world famous. He's back and forth every single day.
Sure, a lot of people might know who I am. Cool. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, I've never put myself above anybody. Even the trolls. Because at the end of the day, we are all fucking human beings. Like it or not. We are all one race. The human race. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. And when we're all on our deathbeds looking back at life, we all will die the same way. We all end up in the same place. In a pine box in the ground. So what is the point of being negative towards people? Instead of tearing each other down, we should be building people up. Instead of destroying someone, we should be building them up. Now the monsters of this world, they deserve whatever hell they get.
We should be positive and we should be building people up, but the people who mess with me, fuck them, they should go to hell. Like, he has no actual standard that he goes by. It's just whatever makes him feel bad versus whatever makes him feel good. There's no actual standard.
For prime example, my ex Kera, look what she did. Son. And now she's in prison for it and paying for it. People like that, monsters like that, deserve to rot in prison. They deserve to suffer. Because they are, at the end of the day, demons in human form. And the reason I say that is because people like that don't want to change their ways. They don't want to change who they are because they're too comfortable in their evil ways. They don't want to be uncomfortable to have that fight to be good again.
He really is just the absolute king of projection. Everything that he gets on everybody else the hardest about is all the shit that, like, he's actually been caught doing with receipts.
And those are the ones that I feel sad for. I do. Do I hate Kera with all my heart? No. I don't hate her. But I'm not happy with her, I'll tell you that. Am I disappointed? Yes. 100%. 1,000%. I am angry with her, and I am very, very disappointed in her. Why? Because I thought she was a better mom than what she is. I thought that I knew everything about her and she lied to my face.
He is a 34-year-old childless man. He has no leeway whatsoever to be judging other people's parenting at all. Like, I don't know where he gets off even talking about this.
But at the end of the day, I'm not the one that has to live with what she did. She has to live with herself and what she did. She has to live with that. She has to live with all her mistakes that she made, that she did, that she fucked up on. Not me. I've already atoned for all my sins. I've already, even though people don't want to admit it, I've already moved on past my sins. I've already moved on and, atoned for my mistakes.
It's great that he's already moved on from it. Like, he just gets to say, I've atoned. Who gets to decide that? Just me. Does it matter how anybody else feels about it? No, not really, because, like, you guys are still talking about stuff that I've moved past. So it's such a completely nonsensical worldview.
And all those years of atoning for my mistakes and my sins and my wrongdoings, me getting built back up like I am right now slowly is my reward from the big man upstairs. Because like they say, and like the Bible says, God rewards those who wait, those who are patient, those who work hard. You put good out into this world, you get good back. You put evil in this world, you get bad stuff back. And me, I've done nothing but put good out in this world and try to expel the evil of the internet, such as the troll community, Kiwi Farms, the Facebook group. I try to expel that because that is pure evil at its finest. That is pure, unadulterated evil. And because I tried to do good, God saw that and rewarded me.
So his life that he's living now in this attic is a reward from God. I don't know if I want to be a member of his church if this is what you get when you do what you're supposed to do.
Rewarded me with my fan base. Rewarded me with a community of people who I am proud to call my fans and my friends. And not only that, but he rewarded me with a second chance to rebuild my life back. And I'm not going to waste that second chance. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to do everything I can to rebuild myself back to who I used to be before I started becoming everybody's punching bag. Because that's what God intended for me to do. He intended for me to rebuild myself back, become who I used to be, so that I can go out into the world and I can help those that need it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to play, like, oh, I'm the ultimate God or I'm the ultimate prophet who can help you. No. I'm only human. But if I can do something to help as many people as I can, then I'm going to do whatever I can. Whether it's being a friend, being a brother, sitting down and listening, being that ear that somebody needs to listen, to understand what's going on with them. And like I said, all y'all trolls can sit there and talk all this shit about me that they want. Because quite frankly, I say this, good, let them talk. Let the negative people talk. Because at the end of the day, what are they really doing with their lives? Nothing. Because there's one thing that I grew up being taught. And not grow up as a kid, but like growing up in, social media.
I would believe that there's only one thing that he was grown up being taught, because there's clearly a lot of things that he wasn't taught, like how to brush his teeth, how to shower, how to have a conversation with a woman and not come off as a complete lunatic, how to have a job, how to apply to a job, how to drive a car. I could go on.
Growing up in, learning certain aspects of business. One of my mentors that passed away, unfortunately, very recently, who I had the pleasure of working for.
Oh God, another side character who passed away, another tragic backstory. You would believe that this guy has like 50 Mr. Miyagis in his roster.
Michael J. Hacking, who, granted, he was a bit of a weirdo, but, he still taught me a lot. He was a mentor to me.
I would believe you learned a lot from a weirdo.
He really taught me a lot about business, because I did work for him for a long time. And the one thing that he taught me is this. Those that run their mouths don't usually get anywhere. Those that think that they know you, when they run their mouth about you negatively, they themselves don't even know themselves.
It's a really interesting lesson that he's trying to say that he learned, that you don't get anywhere if you run your mouth, and I'm almost inclined to believe it, because look at him. He uploads multiple times a day. He'll go on live stream for an hour, 2 hours at a time, 2-3 times a day, and all he does the entire time is run his mouth about other people. We just covered on the live stream last night that he went off for over an hour running his mouth about Kera.
Those are the ones that usually don't get anywhere. Those are the ones that become so ingrained in what they do that they can't move. They become stuck and they start turning tires. Why? Because they are too comfortable in their ways. And eventually they dig themselves into that rut so much that they get stuck. And actually, Leo, that is not true. I don't just run my mouth. I walk the walk and I talk the talk.
I love that he even in his own chat, he's not safe, you know? Like, you would think all the trolls would mostly be interacting with one another on, like, the N-word boy videos and on the commentary videos. No, even directly in his own chat, people are like, "No, you don't. All you do is talk shit." Because if you know anything about Cyraxx, you know that that's his hobby, that's his career, that's he always talks about how he's going to make music, but none ever gets released. He talks about how he's going to stream games. He almost never does it. All he does is argue on the internet.
Just like I'm doing now. See, it's funny, Leo. People like you think that you know me, but really you don't. And you act like your opinion matters, but it doesn't. I know you're going to say, well, you're reading this out loud. Yeah, so what? But does that mean that your opinion means anything to me? No.
Well, it does, because by definition, you're taking the time to respond to it. If it meant literally nothing to you, you would completely ignore it. That's what nothing is. It means enough to you for you to make a multi-minute detailed response to it to point out how little it means to you. Like, it absolutely bothers the shit out of him to see anything negative come up in his comments ever.
Your opinion, what you think of me has no value to me. It doesn't. But I read it because I wanted to make you a prime example of what a negative person does. You sit there and you talk so much shit, and you run your mouths, acting like you know somebody that you've never met in your life. Yeah, sure, my life is documented out there, so fucking what? I don't care. What do you want, a fucking cookie? You want an award? You want a trophy? See, that's the difference between people like me, Leo, and people like you. People like you sit there in your little group, and you gossip about people, and you do this, and you do that. While people like me are out here making moves behind the scenes that you'll never know about. Even now, behind the scenes, I'm making boss moves behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. That you guys will never know about. Because one thing that Michael taught me, and it is for everybody else out there too. One thing that when I worked for Michael Hacking, one thing that he taught me is this. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing.
That's a really great lesson. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing, so you don't need to stream for an hour at a time, 3 times a day, and update everybody on all these projects that you're never gonna finish.
Not everybody needs to know your moves. Some moves you make in silence. Moving in silence is your best ally. Utilize it when you can, however you can, which is what I do. I move in silence. I don't tell everybody all my moves. I don't tell the whole world what I do every day. You know, it's funny. People think that I'm out here telling the whole world my every move. There are some moves that I make behind the scenes that you don't know about. There are certain people that know about those moves that I talk about amongst my people, that I talk about amongst my fans and my closest friends, but those are the only ones that really know. There are certain people that I tell what I'm doing too because I can trust them. They are my friends, they are my brothers, my sisters, my family, my friends. My fucking fan base. And the thing that I find most interesting is this. Every one of you trolls sits there and says that anybody that's kind to me or is nice to me is a buddy troll. That's not true. Some people are just genuinely good people. And they want to see me win. They want to see me do good.
There is no one out there, no one, who genuinely wants to see him win or see him do good. There is a very, very, very small, like, constituency of people that feel bad for all of the lolcows. But the way that they feel bad isn't that they think the lolcows are in the right. It's that they think the lolcows are so mentally ill that they're not responsible for their own actions. This happens all the time with Josh Block. People are always like, Josh Block has autism and he's being taken advantage of by people like Mr. Based and Jack Doherty. And, like, personally, I still feel like he shouldn't be doing the shit that he's doing, but I at least can understand, like, where the argument is coming from of, like, oh, this person's not really at capacity mentally, and people who are, you know, all the way there, they're taking advantage of this person, they're putting him in these bad situations. But those are the only people that are even relatively, they're not even necessarily on your side. They just think that you should be in, like, an institution where somebody can keep you off the internet and give you some type of therapy and stuff like that. They don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you succeed as a musician. They want you to get help so that you can stop doing this stuff, you know? So it's, yeah, the vast majority of people who are quote unquote kind to you, they are buddy trolls. That's why every single time that he has a new best friend after 2 or 3 months, a bunch of screenshots get leaked and he gets exposed for something, and then, you know, he turns on that friend. If you listen to him talk talk about every single side character in the Cyraxx universe going back for a decade, there's like no one that he's still in good standing with. All of those people he's had some type of a fallout with, where they're his mortal enemy and they're a piece of shit, you know? So that's not true at all.
Like I said, there are certain moves that I am making behind the scenes that the whole world doesn't know about, that y'all trolls don't know about. Because like I said, I move in silence whenever I get the chance. And right now, I'm both moving with noise and with silence. And what I mean by that is this. When I tell y'all trolls something, that's just me setting up the battlefield. That's me setting up a win. That is me setting up where I can take aim. It's like the sniper code from the army. One shot, one bullet, one kill.
Well, I think that's actually something from like Call of Duty, but you know, we'll see. I'm sure he did all of his research and it was all done properly, but that's Cyraxx. He doesn't care. He keeps all of his moves in silence, which is why he went off for 35 minutes again, first thing in the morning, just to let everybody know how actually private he is, and you know how he actually doesn't let us know everything. He's playing 5D chess. He's coming for everybody, and he's gonna come out on top. So we'll continue to monitor his meteoric rise to fame in the next video. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for coming by again. If you like the content, please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all soon.